When Liberty Valance rode to town, the women folk would hide, they'd hide. When Liberty Valance walked around, the men would step aside. Because the point of a gun was the only law that Liberty understood. When it came to shooting straight and fast, he was mighty good. From out of the east, a stranger came, a law book in his hand. Oh man, the kind of a man the West would need to tame a troubled land. Cause the point of a gun was the only law that Liberty understood.
All right, folks. This is Transparency and Merit, and I'm just here to give things to the best of my ability in the way in which I see them. Print the legend. Well, a lot of folks do things primarily from their own perspective and their own ego. And certainly, whether it be plays of old, the printed word, the book, and cinema, people told stories that they wanted you to hear, and they do the same thing. Who controls the microphone? That's the big question. Who's in the pool to take a swim in social media? I got the idea, print the legend, because it's from the film The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. One of the last lines in the film is when the legend becomes the truth. Print the legend. And a lot of people in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, there was a view of America that was about printing the legend, making heroes out of frontier men and women, the pioneers, who did have horrible, many times drastic lives. Life was much shorter back in the day. Today we make them out to be, I guess, privileged people, perhaps. And we completely ignore the human suffering, or seem to ignore the human suffering that is mankind. And I just want to say, in my perspective on cinema, on television, movies can have realism in them and can have truth, but for the most part, it's not truth. The TV show Roots comes to mind. I didn't find out that the book Roots was plagiarized. Alex Haley's Roots was plagiarized until about 10 years ago. And now a lot of that stuff hasn't necessarily been scrubbed from the internet, but it's become harder to find. For whatever reason, the powers that be don't want that story getting out there that much. Of course, there is Thomas Sowell's book, Black Rednecks, White Liberals, where he talks about that Alex Haley wanted the blacks in America to have a myth to live by. And I guess maybe turnabout is fair play, because there was the myth of the happy slave and the noble slave owner. But when are we going to get to a time of reality and truth? When are we going to get into a time of perhaps even brutal honesty? I heard it said that Eric Holder, when he was Attorney General, stopped I don't know if it was putting out the rape statistics of the race of the rapist and interracial rape. Could be wrong on that, but I did hear that being said. And if that is true, I don't think that there is a good excuse for that. But movies and television, they have a perception, and they usually help out with the establishment. For years, cinema could not make films about the racist policies of this government because the establishment didn't want them to do that. For example, I believe it was 1957, Rod Serling, the creator of the Twilight Zone, wanted to do a dramatization based on the murder of Emmett Till. And the powers that be said, no, you can't do that. That will upset our advertisers. Now it's kind of reverse. Poke out the 2000s, you had the late Colin Flaherty, who would had his YouTube channel shut down because he posted videos of black on white racial hostility. And that video got shut down. They didn't say that he was lying or misinterpreting. Well, they tried to, and they would try to lie on him, but none of the stuff really stuck, from my understanding. And I believe Stephen Bochco, when he did NYPD Blue, he said that he wasn't going to do the actual demographics of racial crime. I don't know what reason he gave, but I believe he did give some kind of reason, and this was supposed to be a real gritty New York show that basically was kind of realistic. But films back in the day had their forms of political correctness, and films today have their forms of political correctness. And that's the way it goes. I wonder if we'll get to a time when we are actually having some form of truth, instead of printing the legend or printing somebody's version of reality. And dare you question their reality if you're not in power. Those in power, if you question too hard and you become too big, they're going to knock you down. Anyway, this has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, share the video, and visit our website at transparencyandmerit.com. Thank you.